Hey everyone, I am Rachel Bateman, and NaNoWriMo starts in 1 week. There is a lot of talk happening online right now in social media of people who are very, very excited for NaNoWriMo, but also super stressed and a little bit panicking because they have no idea what their book is going to be about and what they're going to write come November 1st. Now, some people really like just pantsing and discovering along the way, and they sit down November 1st with maybe only the vaguest idea of where they're going and write. And if that works for you, excellent. Go ahead and skip this video and just wait till next Monday and start writing. But I've talked to a ton of people and seen so many comments online of people who really want some kind of roadmap. They want an understanding of what their story is, but they don't have it yet. And they don't feel like they can figure that out with just a week left. I've seen some people say they want to do it so bad, but they probably won't this year because they don't have a story yet. And you know, maybe you don't. You don't have to do NaNoWriMo. But if you do want to do NaNoWriMo and you want to figure out what your story is going to be ahead of time, this is the video for you. Because this video is all about how to plan out a novel with only 1 week to do it. I have distilled it down the best I can for you. I have 6 questions that you need to answer about your book so you are ready to write it, and then a 4-step process you can take, actionable steps to get you a roadmap to work off of come November 1st when National Novel Writing Month starts. I'm going to dive right in to keep this video as short as I can so you're not taking up too much of your plotting time by watching it with the questions. And question number 1 is, who is it about? Who is your book about? Who is your protagonist? Is it Charles or Susie or whoever? Figure out who this person is and not just a name. Find out whatever you can about them. How old are they? What is their family like? What is their work life like? Do they go to school? Who are their friends? What is their background like? Who is this person? You're going to be following your protagonist through your whole story, so knowing who they are is incredibly important. So keep that person in the back of your mind. Keep your protagonist there so you can continually be figuring out little tidbits about their life, what they like, what they don't like, do they have any animals, just things that help build them into a more robust character in your mind. And then question number 2 is, what do they want? What is this character's great desire for this story? What is their goal? What do they want? Question number 3 you need to be able to answer is, why can't they have it? Why can't they get what they want? And this is kind of a 2-parter, and this is a big trick to keep in mind. One part of question number 3, why can't they get it? This is going to be very specific and unique to your story. What is standing in their way? Why can't they just have what they want? But the second part of question number 3, why can't they get it, is fairly universal. And that is that what they want and what they need are 2 different things. So part of this question is figuring out, what does your character actually need? Is this a lesson they need to learn? What do they need? And the character will figure this out by the end of the book. They're going to realize that that thing they wanted is not necessarily in line with what they actually need in their life. And that is part of why they can't get it. But that is going to come across in your book in a very real way, and so you need to figure out, what is this actual roadblock to getting what they want? Because question number 4 is, what are they going to do about that? They want something, they can't get it, there's something standing in their way, so what are they going to do to get what they want? How are they going to try to get around this roadblock that's been put up in front of them so they can get what they want? What is their plan? How are they going to tackle it? And then question 5 is, why does that plan fail? Whatever they did in question 4 to try to get around that roadblock to get what they want, it's going to fail. Why does that fail? What did they do wrong? What didn't they plan out? What element is missing? What do they learn to help them realize why they failed? Why did they fail? How did they fail? What does that look like? Which leads into question 6. And now, how does it end? Do they figure something else out and actually get what they want? Do they realize that what they want isn't what they need, or maybe even isn't what they want anymore after what they've learned throughout the course of the book? How does it end? We have a character who wants something, they can't get it, they try something, it fails, and then we have a conclusion. It's a simple 6-step thing to get you from the beginning to the end of your book. And if you can answer all these questions, you can get there. Now, obviously there's other stuff that comes into play in different characters and it gets more in depth, but if you have the answers to those 6 questions, you have a solid base for your story that you can grow as you're writing. So then you're going to take it into my 4-step process to get you ready to start writing your manuscript. It's nice and simple. The first one is step 1, write a 1-sentence synopsis. This is also called a logline. It is 1 sentence that you have to kind of condense down and encapsulate your whole story. And yeah, that can be hard. You think, I have all this stuff going on in my head. There is no way I could say that in 1 sentence. I need like 10 minutes to tell you what this story is about. 1 sentence. Because if you can condense down all the stuff that's in your head and that you're thinking about and get to the heart of your story in a single sentence, then you know what that core is. You know the most important through line for your story and what the whole thing is built on. So the logline for my NaNoWriMo novel, The Stars at Night, is stuck in Montana for the summer. An ambitious teenage dancer needs to figure out what she truly wants in life, all while adjusting to life with the family she barely remembers. Now you'll notice in that logline, I didn't give a name, I gave a description of my character. And that, I mean, do it however you want, but really in a traditional logline, there is no name because having just that bite-sized description of your character helps kind of, again, get to the core of who they are. But it's just 1 sentence. There is so much more going on, but that 1 sentence is the heart of the story I'm telling. We have an ambitious teenage dancer. She's the high school drill team captain. She has a dream of becoming a world-famous Kilgore College Rangerette when she graduates. She has these goals and these dreams built around dance and the drill team. And that's really so much of who she is, and what she does is based on that. So I have that little chunk in there. She's stuck in Montana for the summer. Now in the book, we know why she's sent to Montana, but we don't need that right now. It's just, here's our setting. We are in Montana, and we're not just in Montana, we are stuck in Montana, okay? She does not want to be here. That is clear from this 1 sentence. And she has to figure out what she truly wants in life. So we know that this is going to be a very coming of age journey as she tries to figure herself out and what she wants. And then I have the hook. All while adjusting to life with the family she barely remembers. Who are these people? Why is she there? Why can't she remember them? Why does she not know this family? All of this is packed into that 1 line, and it really gives the core of my story. Step 1 is to distill your story down into that 1 line. Figure out what is at the heart of the story you're trying to tell. Because if you have that 1 line, it allows you to build out while keeping track of the importance of your story and exactly what you want to say. Step 2, after you have your logline, is to write a 1-paragraph synopsis. I like to break my paragraph up into 5 sentences because it gives me a nice even way to tell the story in 1 paragraph. My first sentence is my setup and any kind of backstory that needs to be known. My second sentence pushes right up through the beginning of the book until like the pivotal moment as you break into Act 2. This decisive point of no return as we are leaping into this new world of the story. That's the second sentence. My third sentence takes you through the midpoint and sometimes a little bit past the midpoint if you want. It really depends on how you break your story up. The fourth sentence takes you from the midpoint into the big climactic choice that your character needs to make as they break into Act 3. And then your fourth sentence is Act 3 to the end, the resolution of your story. Again, especially if you have a lot of ideas rolling around in your head, it can be really hard to condense this down into just 5 sentences, but doing so helps you figure out what is the most important part of each step of the story. What is at the core of each act, each phase, each little bit of the story. So having a setup, Act 1, the first half of Act 2, the second half of Act 2, and Act 3, breaking it up like that allows you to focus on the setup, your character, and then each quarter of the story until the end, and just know what the core focus is for each part you're writing. So as you're writing, if you start to wander and get a little lost, you can look back and be like, okay, no, this is the heart. This is where I'm going. So I really like doing that 5-sentence synopsis, and it's really fun because sometimes like there's a lot that I want to pack in there, and so I get creative with my grammar to figure out how to make it actually 5 sentences. There's no rule that says it has to be 5 sentences. It's just a challenge I do for myself. But having those 5 sentences gives you a guide for taking you through the story. And step 3 after that is to take each one of those sentences and expand it. You now are looking at a 1-page, 5-paragraph synopsis. If you go over 1 page, that's fine. But take each one of those sentences and expand it into a full paragraph. Flesh it out more, give more detail, figure out what is happening during this particular part of the book, and write a paragraph about that as you work it out. And do all 5 paragraphs, 1 for each sentence. Because then your next step, step 4, is your 5-page synopsis, where you're going to do the exact same thing. You are now going to take each paragraph you've written and expand that into a full page, telling what's going on, more about your character, more about this part of the story, more secondary characters are going to be coming in at this point because you have more room to play with, and your brain, you know the story now, you know the through line, you know the basics of what you're doing, so you can start pulling in those secondary characters and the more fun things that aren't necessarily the heart of your story but can still be important to it. And you really work through and start making it more robust and building it up. And by the end, you have 5 pages to take you from the beginning, just learning your character, all the way to the end of your book. And that gives you a fairly healthy roadmap to work from. That will give you enough to be able to sit down and write a book. Now, I do have a bonus step. If you want, if this is how your brain works a little bit better, then go ahead and do this. And so my bonus step is like 40 bullet points, or however many it takes you. 40 is a pretty standard number in film writing, screenwriting circles, but however many it takes you, you could go ahead and take those paragraphs and just make a list of bullet points of scenes. This scene, this scene, this scene, this scene. These are the scenes that make up these paragraphs. If your brain works better that way on a list rather than a synopsis, go ahead and take bonus step number 5 and take your synopsis and read through it and make a list of scenes that need to happen in order for those things in your synopsis to take place. But that's it. If you can answer these 6 questions and then follow these 4 very simple steps, you will have built out enough of a story and enough of a roadmap for you to be able to jump in 1 week from today and start writing your NaNoWriMo novel and be successful at it. All right, I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them down in the comments. I'll be on and answering as many as I can and really helping you get through. I hope you have a wonderful last week of October as you prep for NaNoWriMo and Halloween if you celebrate Halloween. This is a really exciting time of year for a lot of writers, and I cannot wait to hear all about what you are preparing and what you're planning for your NaNoWriMo book. If you want to share, go ahead and drop it in the comments. If you have a logline you worked at and want to share and get feedback on that, comment and we'll give feedback. I'll give feedback. Anyone who happens to be looking can give feedback. I'm happy to help in any way I can because I am just so jazzed about new writers coming in and trying NaNoWriMo for the first time, or people coming back and trying something new, a new kind of book for NaNoWriMo, or people like me who are writing their comfort zone book. But it's just a very exciting time to have so many people all over the world deciding this is it, we are writing right now. And I really want to help support you along the way. So if you have any questions about getting your novel ready in time for next week, let me know. If you liked this video, if it was helpful for you, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you are not subscribed to my channel already, please do so now. And go ahead and ring the little bell so you can be notified of my upcoming videos. I am Rachel Bateman, and I will see you back here next time.